The plastic helps to keep them nice and round and even. That's why when you get steak in a restaurant, it has the same shape. Okay, so we leave them on just until we're about to sear them with seasoning. Let's properly season these guys now. So I'm going to gently take off the plastic so they retain their nice round shape that I put them in. Okay, just put them right back down like that. Okay, now we're going to put salt and pepper. Okay, we want to make sure they're not too wet, so I'm just going to pat them dry gently, quickly. Okay, just a little. Just make sure they're dry. You have to have them a little dry so that it will pick up those spices. Okay, so now we have our salt and pepper here. Please don't go overboard with the pepper. Don't fill this thing up all the way and then throw it in the garbage. This is expensive, plus I grind it to order. So we'll start with some sea salt on one side here. Okay, make sure I pat it in. Okay, my pepper. Remember, go high so you can get good coverage. Make sure you pat that in too. Make sure it sticks. Let's flip it over and repeat the process again. Maybe crunch it up if you want. You could use kosher salt or you could use the sea salt. It's up to you. The sea salt will give it more of a nice crust when we sear it. Okay. All right, we'll put some salt here. All right. So now that I got that there, remember no oil. Okay. This is at room temperature, and now we're going to start to sear it. All right. So I'm going to put this on medium-low heat. Medium-high heat, because we want to get a nice sear and baste. We want to cook this to medium. Okay. You do not want this to be overcooked. You will get an automatic fail like it says on the board. But you want to be around 135, 140 for medium. Okay, if you like it less, medium, do it rare, you like 130. Okay, so I'm going to let this heat up a little bit. Like I said, not too much oil, just a touch of some non-reactive oil. Okay, I've got my basting stuff here. I got my herbs here that I'm going to baste with when it's done searing. I got my rosemary, thyme, 1 bay leaf. Okay, I got my cloves of garlic with the skin on. I'm just gonna give them a smash here and add them in, skin and all. Okay. Make sure you take the paper off your butter as part of good mise en place. Don't leave the butter paper on. Okay. Just have that ready on the side, just like that. Okay. So let's go back to our steaks. Steaks are right here. They're looking pretty beautiful. Okay. I'm just gonna glove up and we'll get started. All right, so my pan's a little smoky here, okay? So let's put right down. Nice sizzle. Some people like to hold it down if you could tolerate it with the back of your hand, just to help give it more of a crust. Okay. You do that. All right, so I got my mise en place ready. Everything else, when it's ready to be basted. I'm going to make this medium rare. And just show you a quick way to slice it up if you want to. Split it up. Each team is going to get 2 pieces. Okay. All right. So I'm going to let this cook for a little bit. All right. Don't move it. You just want to flip it twice. If you are one of those people who like it well done, first of all, I'm very sorry about that. You can finish it in the oven, but this ideally we're going to cook completely on the top of the stove. So I'll come back in 2 minutes. All right, so I want it rare, and you can see it coming up the sides here, so I'm going to flip it before I start basting. So I'm going to flip one. Nice color, that's what we want right there. Okay. Don't worry about that piece there, that's just the way the animal was. Okay. So I'm going to let this cook a little more. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to start the basting process. All right, so I'm lowering my heat now. I'm going to add in my butter, my aromatics, okay. The onions, the bay leaf, the thyme, the rosemary, and the garlic. Okay. Now the act of basting, we'll work it pops, put a little more oil. Okay. Lower your heat to simmer, and you're going to move it around, but gently. Don't be afraid of that popping sound. You're going to take a spoon like this and tilt and infuse all of those herbs and butter and garlic. You're going to infuse that flavor as you tilt up the pan and run it across the steaks. Okay? Don't be afraid of the popping sounds. Okay? You kind of lift and push across, lift and drag across. Okay? You have to make sure at this point that your heat is on low because you don't want to burn the butter. Okay? So we're slowly basting the rest of the way. So for the next couple of minutes, you're just going to sit there and just have your pan at an angle, get your spoon, and get all that goodness across, okay? All right. Now another important thing before I stop the tape here is that you want to let this rest before you cut it open, okay? And this is one of the last things you're going to do before you serve it with your potato dauphinoise and do your garnishes, okay? Like I said, there's microgreens, there's frizzled onions, there's parsley, there's a bunch of things you could make as a garnish and be creative. So I'm gonna keep doing this for a few minutes and come back. All right, so these guys look pretty beautiful, well basted. I'm gonna just let them rest for a second, okay? And then I'm gonna slice them up, okay? Okay, cool, so let's get our steak sliced and ready to be plated. So I have both of them here. I'm gonna take one, I'm gonna slice it on an angle with a nice sharp knife, okay? The one with the angle, like I said, mine is a little rare. You could cook yours more medium. That's a nice color right there. Okay, like I said, you could finish it in the oven or baste it longer, but at a lower temperature. So now I'm going to get my plate. Okay, I got my sauce on the side. I got some other things ready here. Okay, and we'll just put this guy on. Do some simple plating. Alright, so I'm going to put it down on the plate like this. Make sure I dab it a little more if there's any blood here. Okay. Now we're going to fan it out a little. Just like this for a nice presentation. Okay. If we had the potatoes ready, we could put them right there. Alright. So I'm going to clear my station a little bit so I can get this in the center. Okay, remember, clean your plate off. Remember, swipe away. Alright, so keep that in the center. Alright. I'm going to put down some of my sauce that I have here. I have some demi that I made that I could share with the class, just a little veal stock reduction. Okay, I'm just going to put one ladle full just a little bit so it's not covering everything. All right. I have some of my frizzled onions that we can put right here on the side, like so. Try to contain everything here. If we had the potatoes, it would help to hide some of that mess there. Just get some of them out. Remember, keep your rims clear. Okay, swipe away if it's dirty. Okay. Then I'm just going to finish it with a little bit of microgreen salad right here. Okay, and there you have it. Okay. Usually, when you plate this, try to use your imagination. I'll help you make the onions. They give a nice height and a nice crunch and texture to the steak, okay? All right, so I hope you enjoyed doing this final project. Let me get off camera here so you can see a better angle. All right, so please enjoy, and I'll see you in the fall.